Hello students, in this lesson we are going to learn the insulated glove method of replacement of insulators on the side of straight poles, preparation and inspection of work equipment and materials. To replace insulators by the insulating glove method, replacement of linear pole side face insulators. What tools and materials do we need to use to ensure safety? How do we check the insulating equipment we use? First of all, we will look at the selection of work tools and materials. We use 2345, 6 to summarize. In this way to the non-electrical work equipment storehouse. Selection of work equipment A. There will be no omission. Carrying tool 1 set. This refers to the bucket truck. We use an insulated bucket truck to arrive at the work site. The 2 sets of materials used are insulators, tying wires. Replace the old insulators on the side faces and replace the insulators with new ones. Fixing the insulators to the wires and wires needed for fixing insulators to wires. Handling tools 3-piece set. This refers to the testing device. Insulated wrench, insulated vise. The first thing you need to do when you arrive at the worksite is to check the electricity. To check the electricity, you need to use an insulator. To remove the insulators, an insulated wrench is used to tighten the nut. Insulation vise, trimming off the excess wire from the vials. The 4-piece line shielding kit refers to conductor shields, crossbar shields, insulation blankets, insulation blanket clips. These are used to cover overhead lines. And equipment, conductor shields are used to shield the conductors. Cross-arm shields are used to cover cross-arms. Insulating blankets are used to shield lines and equipment. Blanket clips are used in conjunction with blankets. The blankets are tightly wrapped. The 5-piece personal protection kit refers to insulated helmets, insulated safety belts, insulated shawl, insulated gloves, sheepskin, insulated shoes, insulated to protect the body. We should emphasize the sheepskin gloves. Sheepskin gloves are worn over insulated gloves. They prevent the insulating gloves from being cut by sharp objects. They are puncture-resistant. 6-piece anti-fuel inspection kit, anemometer, temperature and humidity meter, Redfield, insulated glove tester, insulation tester, anemometer to measure wind speed. Grade 5 or above wind is not allowed to work. Temperature and humidity tester mainly measures humidity. When the air humidity is greater than 80, are allowed to carry out electrified work. The rag is used to wipe the dirt on the insulating apparatus. Felt cloth is used to place insulating apparatus. Ensure the cleanliness of work equipment, avoiding to be affected by the dirt and the insulating performance. Insulated glove tester. It is used to check the air tightness of insulated gloves. Insulation tester is used to check the insulation resistance of insulated work equipment. To summarize, there are 1 vehicle, 2 materials, 3 tools, 4 masking, 5 protection, 6 detection through the apparatus. Material preparation mnemonic. It helps us to quickly prepare our tools. Let's move on to the next lesson. Inspection of work equipment for non-stop operation. Why do we need to check the work equipment? Because insulated work equipment relates to our personal safety. Only through inspection can we determine whether it is qualified and usable. What should be checked on the non-stop work equipment? Inspection of insulated work equipment. We do it in 3 steps. Check the appearance, check the label, measure the insulation. The first step is to check the appearance. Appearance check is mainly from check the appearance of the work equipment, damaged, damp and dirty. If there is damage, it is directly judged to be unqualified. It cannot be used for operation and should be scrapped. If it is damp, dirty, wipe it with a rag. The external surface is fine. A next step is to look at the next step is to look at the inner quality. Check the label. Label checking means checking whether the work equipment has a test pass label, and whether it is within the test cycle. Safety regulations require work equipment for energized work should be regularly preventive testing by qualified testing organizations. Insulated work equipment is required to withstand the voltage level not less than 45 kV. Auxiliary withstand the voltage level of not less than 20 kV. No breakdown, no flashover. Sheet phenomenon can be labeled as qualified. Test period is 6 months after checking the label. Finally, we have to test the insulation. Insulation test is the key point of learning. Insulation test is the use of insulation resistance meter to measure insulation resistance value of insulated work equipment. Appearance and labeling of the equipment have been checked in the past. Why do we still need to measure the insulation? Because insulated work equipment in the storage and transportation and use process may cause insulation performance degradation, so we must test the insulation before use. How to test the insulation? I'll take the insulation blanket as an example to explain the insulation test. First of all, we should use the insulation resistance meter of the corresponding voltage level. The insulation resistance meter for 10 kV non-stop operation is 2500 V and above insulation resistance meter. A second step is to check the appearance of the meter and connecting wires are not damaged. Safety is not a trivial matter. We are responsible for our own personal safety. Check carefully and rigorously. Do not miss every small dangerous point. The third step is to carry out a self-test of the instrument. Do open circuit test and short circuit test. Keep the electrode of insulation resistance meter disconnected. Press the switch button of the insulation resistance meter. Red infinity proves that the open circuit test passes. Short the insulation resistance meter electrode. Press the switch button of the insulation resistance meter. Red 0 proves that the short circuit test is qualified. Short circuit testing to when the reading is 0. Quickly release the switch button. Avoid long time short circuit burn insulation resistance meter. The fourth step is to measure the insulation. Place the brush on the insulation blanket. Be careful not to move too fast. Ensure that every piece is measured. Observe the meter while brushing. If the brush reaches a certain place on the insulation blanket, insulation value lights red and less than 700 mecoms, and it is not qualified and cannot be used for operation. Finally, after the test is done, we have to develop good working habits. Put all the tools and materials back to their place, so that the work is done and the site is clean. This is also a basic quality of our non-stop operation personnel. Insulation inspection using insulation resistance monitor can test the main insulation and auxiliary insulation appliances. For example, the test object, insulation blankets, conductor shields, cross-arm shields, insulated gloves, insulation shawls, insulation boots, insulated helmets, insulated safety belts. The purpose of insulation testing is to test the insulating properties of insulated work equipment to ensure personal safety. In this lesson, we have mainly learned the insulated glove method, replacing insulators on the side of a straight line pole, material selection 1, 20-45, 6, and the three-step method of inspecting work equipment, appearance, labeling, insulation. That's the end of this lesson. Thanks you.